Alright guys, welcome back to another Patreon request. This one comes from my good friend Jason Voorhees 2011, and as always, if you'd like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, and if you hit the 4th tier, you can send me requests for videos to do here on YouTube, as well as check out the exclusive content over on YouTube at Patreon, over on Patreon as well. So, Jason asked me to do, after doing, 2 videos of Mars Attacks, he basically said, hey, can you do another Mars Attacks video? And I was like, yeah, I love doing these. So this time around, he asked me to do a Mars Attacks anime. Yeah, he basically said, kind of like how my Mars Attacks Disney video, this is Mars Attacks various different anime and just kind of quick stories. Much like the Mars Attacks IDW event they did, where it was a bunch of one-and-done stories of the various Martians attacking various IDW titles. So the first and foremost one is Mars Attacks Sailor Moon. So Mars Attacks Sailor Moon starts off with the Martians landing on Earth, as a secret expedition team, and they capture Rey. They capture Rey, aka Sailor Mars, and they basically they capture her and take her back to Mars. Well, the rest of the Sailor Senshi have to go out and get her, but it turns out that the Martians wanted Mars because that was their Senshi, that was their guardian, that was literally they needed their guardian back, and they wanted Mars there on their planet. It's kind of funny too. I wanted to have it I thought it'd be kind of funny if Rey can understand the Martians, and she thinks it's speaking English, and they're speaking English speaking Japanese. Forgot this is Japan for a hot second. It's been a long day. I've been at work. She's speaking Japanese to them back and forth, and Usagi goes, "Rey, what are you doing?" And she's like, "I'm talking to him." And she's going, "No, you're going ack." So it turns out that one of Sailor Mars's hidden abilities is that she can understand and speak Martian fluently. So, and it's more of her going ack. But it turns out the Martians want to not only do they want their guardian back, they wanted to use her as a war machine and unleash her on the planet as they want to use Sailor Mars as a spearhead for their full-scale invasion of Earth. So Usagi and the others have to stop them from mind-controlling Rey and using her in their attempted invasion. So next up is Mars Attacks My Hero Academia. Mars Attacks My Hero Academia is a fun one because it's really Deku and Bakugo and the others have managed to corner the League of Villains, and right when that happens and they're about to win the day and defeat the League of Villains once and for all, Martian attack happens. The Martians attack, and what happens is the heroes try to fight and contain the various Martians, but then Deku realizes they're outnumbered, they're outgunned, so he basically looks at Shigaraki and goes, "Look, man, we need your help. There's no other way to put it. We need your help. So fight with us, and we'll let bygones be bygones this time around." So that's what happens, is that the villains and the heroes team up against the Martian invasion. I wanted to have some fun moments Shigaraki and Bakugo fighting together against this giant Martian mech suit. Toga tasting Martian blood, and she's like, "It's so sweet, it's so delicious, it's like cotton candy." And Bakugo's just like, "What the fuck?" Anyway, so there's Mars Attacks My Hero Academia. Then there's the next one is Mars Attacks Tenchi Muyo. In this one, in this Mars Attacks Tenchi Muyo story, what happens is that the Martians have launched an attack not on Earth but on Jirai. They've launched a surprise attack on Jirai, and they've stolen a Jiraiyan tree. Now, if you know your Tenchi Muyo lore, then you know that the trees from Jirai have great power and can even turn into starships or even weapons of mass destruction. So what this is what basically is happening is that the Martians have stolen this tree, one of these trees, to convert into a weapon of mass destruction and use to like launch attacks on more planets. So Tenchi and the rest of the group go after them in order to steal back this lost Jirayan royal tree and take it from the Martians. It leads basically to Ryoko being captured and taken to the Mars Coliseum to fight various monsters and whatnot again and again and again. Kind of like in a Planet Hulk kind of style. Next up, this is a fun one, and this is one I came up with. Mars Attacks Big O. Mars Attacks Big O is a fun one because in here, the Martians launch an attack on the city, and in here, Roger and Dorothy discover that the Martians are taking robot suits and converting them into sentient robots they can use in their invasion force. So Roger gets into Big O and fights his way through Martian-amplified rival robots and monsters. Next up, we have Mars Attacks Killing Bites. In here, this is a Killing Bites tournament that has just begun, and what is going on is that Martians are kidnapping, kidnapping Theranthropes and making them and like amplifying the mutant DNA inside of them and amplifying it into new, more horrifying levels and making them full monsters. So Hitomi is sent by her master to deal with the situation. So that's what happens in that story. Another one is Mars Attacks Spy X Family, and in here the Martians kidnap Anya because they want to use her psychic abilities to further advance like a secret invasion they're planning on Earth. And of course Lloyd and Yor team up as loyal parents as they are and go kill their way through several Martians. Then we have Mars Attacks Black Lagoon. Mars Attacks Black Lagoon is a story where it's set. The beginning of it is set during the Russian-Afghanistan war in the 80s, and in here, Bella and her troop discovered a downed Martian ship that was damaged by a solar flare and crash landed in Afghanistan. The Kremlin took it, but here's the thing. Bella took a lot of the shit too. She never knew how to work it, but she more or less wanted to use it as just in case. She wanted to use the weapon, learn how to use the weapons, so one day she could expand Hotel Moscow's power. Well, unfortunately, there's a Martian force that's landed in Roranipur who's come looking for their lost weapons, and they're not here to take prisoners. So then there's another one. There was one more. There was definitely one more I wanted to have in here. Crap. I completely forgot. Oh yeah, Mars Attacks Inuyasha. That was the last one. So Mars Attacks Inuyasha is a story where the Martians have arrived in present-day Japan, and the Martians are attacking it, and they're attacking present-day Japan, but a group of Martians hold up the Higurashi house, and then they discover the Bone Eater well. They fall in, they end up in feudal-era Japan, and now are attempting to take control of the past as well as the present. So, of course, Inuyasha, Kagome, and the others have to put a stop to it before the Martians can, take over all of time. So there you go, guys. That is pretty much my Mars Attacks anime ideas. So you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of this story? And also, what anime franchises would you love to see Mars Attacks, attack? And as always, like to thank Jason for his continued patronage. And like I said before, if you'd like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, hit the 4th tier. Other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. See you next time in the Multiverse.